冻住，不洗澡，不洗澡。
Into the iris. Pass into the iris.
Team up for special attack.
Spits into the iris.
Good evening and welcome back, all you sassy nano boosters. It's the Watchpoint Post Show, and we are coming at you live from the Blizzard Arena. Beautiful, sunny, Mount Dark, Los Angeles, California. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Bucket. Joined at the desk, we've got Bren, we've got Sideshow. At the far end, we have Happy's biggest fan. Happy from the Charge just got a massive win. Hex is on the desk, but Hex, I have a rule for you. Are you ready?
No.
You are not allowed to say Happy's name without mentioning all 5 of his teammates during our breakdown.
But that's easy.
Okay. All right, you ready? All right, let's jump right into it. Let's go into the games. You just saw the victory. The Charge took down the NYXL. All 3 of you predicted it on the pre-show. Hex, how'd they get it done?
A lot of it, I think, was like they were the rock solid support play. Of course, Chara and Shu. We know that Nero and Eileen came in. Rio and Happa, also very good players. But of course, it was Happy. Come on, man.
I think that this match is actually really interesting and one of the most interesting roles we've ever seen because of exactly what you and Semler were talking about in the cast. This is like looking back through a time portal to 2018.
It's scary.
And the whole sandbagging debate we had back then. And what are New York doing? I mean, if this was a game in the middle of the regular season, you'd say they just got tilted after being full held on Blizzard World.
I mean,
but I don't know whether that was the case.
No, because it was even happening on Anubis. Mano was rolling in.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how Mano plays.
Yeah.
You know that's not how Mano plays. He had 6 deaths. He was just rolling in and throwing himself into the wood chipper. It was weird.
can't blame, was it young
Yeah, your scapegoats disappeared. But that's the thing. It makes sense, right, for New York to not really be putting 100% into these games because they've already locked up their top
guaranteed
seed.
a top 2 spot. You won the Atlantic already.
But it didn't work for them last year. You need these matches to figure out what works. And figuring out what works doesn't mean just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It means actually coming into every game with a game plan and trying to figure out, like, refine, see how teams adapt against
I'm
you.
kind of even buying they were experimenting so because they're just running the meta. They're just not executing the meta. It's not like they're trying these wacky compositions. Maybe Lijiang Tower, right? They just ran like they ran Pharah and Doomfist the whole time. But like on these other ones, they're running what everyone else is running, but they're just not executing at all. I don't know. Go get me my tinfoil.
Who was the player of the match?
Happy.
And?
What do you do? Shu, Chara, Hotba, Nero, and Eileen.
There you go. Got
Rio
them all.
also.
Name the bench as well. Name
Well
the bench.
done.
I'm not.
Yeah, the whole of the bench.
Real quick though, on
guys,
the
it's been a while.
NYXL, you got top 2, right? You know that you're going to be on opposite sides of the bracket from the Vancouver Titans. Should the Titans become your practice partners from here into the playoffs?
Ooh, now that is interesting. I think that's a great idea, except that the Titans don't look so hot themselves. They look like they don't have the best grasp on the meta. The best teams to play are teams like the Charge. They should be trying to play against the Charge and emulate them. Well, maybe the Justice. Justice are eliminated. That makes perfect
It's
sense.
actually a really good practice
Why aren't
partner.
you treating these matches like they're scrims then? I don't get it. It just seems like there's a complete lack of effort from New York. Because I would understand if New York was losing, but losing like that.
Yeah,
That was the 10th
outrageous.
fastest game in Overwatch League
They've
history.
got some time, guys. It's Sunday night. Maybe they felt like us. They just wanted to go, and so does our producer. So I'm going to keep this rolling into the Titans match because, Josh, you mentioned it. They aren't looking the best right now, but it was good enough to beat our 8th-seeded Philadelphia Fusion today.
It was a messy game, but the Titans pulled out the classic Titan stuff. Sominsu starting on Zarya and Bumper just every time it hits overtime and he needs to clutch, he's like, Reinhardt!
Yeah,
but
even
weird.
when it wasn't even overtime as well. It was he wants to get back to the point. He doesn't really know how to play any other hero other than
Well,
Reinhardt.
you've got the charge to be able to get back to point quicker. That's why he plays the Reinhardt. It makes perfect sense.
Perfect for feeding with. But no, I think the fusion as well, though, to kind of drifted over to this this team, I mean, they're pretty much, I believe they're locked into the top 12 now.
No.
They're
They
not locked
would have
in yet.
been if they had won this game.
Right.
Now, they're not officially. I
Yeah,
mean,
they would have locked in at least a playoff.
I'm going to say so now. I'm probably going to regret it. But they don't look playoff worthy in my mind.
No.
There's
They're,
better
they,
teams below them.
Is there someone
they're not on our
that's
power
within range that you would move up? I wouldn't move Dallas Fuel up. I wouldn't move the Valiant quite
Maybe
yet.
the Valiant. I would be interested to see more games from the Valiant because they look at least like they're improving. With Philadelphia Fusion, they don't look like they're improving.
A little stagnant. I mean, EQO had some big plays today. Carpe had some nice picks to open things up, but it just looked like the whole team as a cohesive unit was a little disjointed.
Well, you can't rely on Carpe anymore. I mean, it's...
Yeah, they barely beat the teams they're supposed to, and then they lose to the teams they're supposed to. This is Philly all over again. But there's been nothing inspiring about this Philly team all year.
Yes.
They've kind of just been hanging around. It feels like a complete lack of identity.
Can you imagine if this team was in the Pacific Division? I think we'd be speaking about them entirely differently.
Totally.
Not in a positive way. You know, I think they'd
None
be
of
kind
this
of out of
was
their depth. But for the Vancouver Titans, I mean, they are actually looking like they're starting to get to grips with the meta a little bit.
Yeah.
My point earlier, I still stand by that they are not particularly great right now and wouldn't be my idea of an excellent practice partner. But this match showed that they can play the meta stuff and they play it reasonably well. Previously, they've massively struggled. I really liked Hacksaul's May in this
So
game.
dirty.
Well,
This
Haxel just
play
seems to be able to pick up
particular.
any hero, it feels like, and just almost master it. Brigitte, he dominated that. He's probably the best Brigitte we had in the
Yes,
league.
yeah.
When we were watching Triple Tank, Triple Support, his Genji is still as clean as anything. And I mean,
But those are both picks that he's played for a long time. I mean, he was picking up Brig way back playing it
sure,
in the
yeah,
contenders.
not denying that. But I'm just saying the guy's ability to pick up a hero and just almost maximize the impact he gets out of it and really abuse everything in the toolkit is pretty good.
Hot seat, Bren.
Yeah, do it.
Who's more versatile? This man or Prophet?
Oh,
Hacksaw or Prophet?
Profit.
Yeah?
That's a kind of, yeah, it's actually an easy one. I was
He masters
expecting
them
a hard,
easier.
Hard little question. No, Profit's more flexible, and he plays some heroes to a higher peak than Haxel does. But the heroes that Haxel plays, I mean, the peak is
Rascal.
And on that note, guys, we're heading to a break. Coming up after the break, though, we got the Washington Justice, who came into the day looking to stay undefeated in Stage 4. They had to go to a Game 5. Did they get the win? We'll find out. More Watchpoint coming up next. Yeah. Yes. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very-
Just win this map, and I can do the rest 2 maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I promise. Because
Okay.
because no Reaper on other maps.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, I get let me play Hanzo and.
But they might play Reaper in Kingfield.
That's okay. I play Hanzo.
It's easy. It's easy.
As long as I'm not Reaper, you know.
As long as I'm not Reaper, that's the key to success for Corey and the Washington Justice, apparently. He called it out. You helped me get the win here. I'll carry you away through the rest of this game. 47 final blows on Hanzo, only 14 deaths. Corey definitely in the MVP running in my mind. Very special performance so far in Stage 4. Stratus up there with great May plays again, but I thought this was Houston bouncing back. They dropped out of the playoffs, showed some life today. This one went the distance, boys.
It really did, didn't it? And I mean, I gotta say, I'm disappointed in Houston. Which,
Really? No, they were good. They played all right. You know, they played
looking
pretty
big
free.
picture.
Oh,
Because
you mean the whole season?
I'm talking the entire season because
Sure.
from start to finish, I'm like, Houston, they every now and then they just give you a little bit of hope and they take it away.
Weren't you the one who predicted them go winless in a stage, though?
Yes.
And you were super confident
Yes,
about
twice actually.
Yeah.
On 2 occasions I did that, and maybe I'm to blame. You know, I put a lot of pressure on.
it. I personally, I blame you.
yeah, you should.
At the end of the day, though, you have two teams that are out of the playoffs. Washington looks like they could be a force to reckon with next season. Talk to me in particular about Corey. You were casting the games. What'd you see from the boy?
Hey, what can you really say that hasn't been said already on the desk for every several days? Since Corey's been able to play these damage dealers, he has looked like one of the best players in the league, probably the best Hanzo in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's like second or third in some stats, but the eye test says he's the best Hanzo in the league. When you need 3 kills, Corey will bring you 3 kills. When you need 4 kills, Corey will bring you 6 kills. It's crazy how he does this.
I don't know.
But you know what this does to other teams too, is that they have to always worry about where is he? We need to send 2 people after him. It's not enough to try to 1v1 him. He's going to rock me. And then it always puts your team in an advantage there, and the rest of his team's taking advantage of these things. Because I thought Sansam had one of his better games that I've ever seen him play today.
Do you think that quote about the Reaper, though, that's what he seemed to be worried about? If I'm on Hanzo, I'm totally fine. But if I'm on Reaper, not as confident. Is that going to be an issue for other teams moving forward?
The one thing that the Reaper comms really test is your coordination as a team. Because you have to work with your Mei player. There's a lot that goes on with the Holtz coordinating all of that. If you waste a cooldown, better teams will punish you. So it's kind of similar to triple tank, triple support in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways.
I actually think that Corey's excellence on that Hanzo is hiding a lot of issues that are still there for the Washington Justice. I think people, even if they end up at the end of stage 4 being, you know, maybe second or third in the stage 4 rankings, and people are going to use that to say, oh, this team's going to be excellent in 2020. I actually think that you shouldn't read too much into it because Corey's hard.
The 7-0 is not guaranteed yet, is what you're saying for stage 4.
Yeah, but even if it is, don't use that to say Justice are going to be fantastic in 2020.
Exactly.
Corey's just hard character.
That was the point I was about to make, and then you jumped in and
You did a much better job there, John.
he did.
Sorry,
He's
go
much
ahead.
more
Do your
concise.
attempt.
He's
I'll
much more
judge him at the end.
concise at this.
Yeah.
But who knows what we're going to be seeing Hanzo Widowmaker meta next year? You don't know.
Yeah.
I think the big test is next week, though. They play Atlanta next week. And Atlanta's also been very, very good in this meta. It's not like these other teams that are good in the top of the standings, but Atlanta has shown that they can play this meta well. So that's going to be a really good match to kind of gauge where both teams are at.
Absolutely. Great test coming up next week. I was hoping that the Shock would be tested by the Fuel today in their matchup, but our number 3 seed overall simply put out the Flames from Texas. What was going down in this series for Dallas? Because they just got obliterated.
I think Dallas realized that their season is essentially over. They're you know, if they had been able to beat the Shock here, which would have been very unlikely, they've still got a difficult schedule moving forwards, and they aren't looking too hot. So I think they're mentally a little bit out of it and just trying to think about how to restructure moving forwards. It's been a rocky season, honestly, for Dallas Fuel. A couple of issues they couldn't have predicted, a couple that they potentially should have, but they were never really expected to win this game.
Yeah, I think big picture, you look at this team, Dallas Fuel, again, another one of those cases where a little bit disappointed in some of the decisions that were made maybe the midways of the season. I mean, they've got a great core here, I think, in the form of OG and Note, and you can really build around that as individuals, but, I mean, you lose one of your star DPS players in the form of Effect, and there wasn't really any effort to replace him.
I want to talk about Shock a little bit, though, is why I've liked Shock, and this is why I've liked Shocked all year, is that they don't take map 4 off against 4 teams. They don't take sets off. They show up, and they're like, why are we even here today? Why did we have to come and play today? Get out of my server. I have things to do. I got to go stream. I got money to make somewhere. Why did he even bother bringing me in here? I love that about the show.
It's the opposite of New York.
It is exactly the opposite, but that's what I appreciate about it.
Both games were insanely quick, but for entirely different reasons.
I also love that for the Shock. I think that they're a fantastic no-nonsense team when they come in and absolutely clap. But one of the other things I really like about them is how they use all of the pieces available to them. We spoke about this during the halftime of this match. Shock are really good at recognizing what players will be good in certain positions, and they flex them in and out all the time, like Superhero, map 4 as well, for example. And Sinatra occasionally on the assault maps, when he comes, he can pull out a couple of his own little core picks, like the Tracer. We even saw the Genji today on Anubis, which was actually pretty slick. But again, against the Fuel, so temper the expectations a little bit. But I love it, I really do.
Okay, let me pitch this one at you. heavy favorites to win the grand finals right now. Would you agree?
Yes. Yes.
There's still so much in front of us and a big meta change, and the Shock haven't really been tested that hard. But right now, they look head and shoulders above.
Okay.
And they're on NYXL's side of the bracket. I think it's a pretty nice bracket setup for them if they keep that number 3 seed.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh, wow. Yeah. What a weird thought.
I've been running tournaments for 15 years, Bren. Yeah.
What a weird thought. Like, you want the 3rd seed.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But the reason I would consider them heavy favorites is not because, we're probably going to be going into the same meta as we are now. It's because they've showcased their ability to adapt to changes very well, which is not a lot of teams have done it. In fact, I mean, Shock are the only ones that are really seeing massive amounts of overwhelming success, but there's a lot of teams that are dropping some games against the weaker teams and, winning against teams that are not expected to win against. It's in flux, but the one constant seems to be the Shock.
I like how they always get revenge when something happens. Like, so they lost to the Titans in stage 1, and then they beat them in stage 2, and then they lost to the Dragons in stage 3, but then they come back and beat them in the regular season, and then like they get boomed and they lose a map here, and they always take it to heart, and they're like, what happened there? Let's never do that again. I hated how that felt. Let's make sure that never happens again. They come back and they go to work.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Josh, I'm going to try and use this transition. Looking for revenge would be the loser of this you hate to see it moment. I have no idea what it is. Does this transition work? What do you got for us?
I haven't told any of you because this moment is so good. I had to get your genuine reactions. Right. We've been talking about the San Francisco Shock bullying their opponents, just stomping them into the dirt. Honestly, you hate to see it. Let's take a look at you hate to see it from this week because this is so good.
You hyped it up.
Well, the observers found it, not me. So I've started it pause, all right? And this guy here is the devil incarnate.
Oh!
it's Rascal, right? And he's on attack, right? He's on offense. And Dallas Fuel have been spawn camping, but have now kind of lost this push. So take a look at what happens here. Note, D-Mech uses his self-destruct to get a new mech. So he's like, okay, self-destruct, gets back in the mech. At this point, Rascal freezes him up, walls him off, and he's like, oh, the team's behind me. Where am I going? Okay, now I might as well just dive in. I'm just going to try and reset. Gets D-Mech'd. Here comes this. It's just bullying. Rascal is just freezing him up, just touching him with a
little tap. Just a little tap of the hose.
He tries to pistol him and tries to kill him.
And he's got the orb on him. He's healing up.
And Rascal's just staying behind. All right, but now he's in the mech.
He's got the mech back.
He's going to be able to get a raid, okay?
There's more?
Well, yeah, he's going to boost away. Okay, all right, so he's getting out this way. He's like, oh, I'm fine. Dun, dun, dun! He gets frozen again just as he uses his boosters, so he can't get out again. So it's like, all right, now finally I'm free. Now that the boosters... Oh, wait, no, he's back again. Rascal's in front of him again. It only stops when they lose the round.
Oh, poor guy. Finally gets blown up.
He's just been taken out of the fight for a whole minute.
You hate to see it. I love it, and that's another reason why you guys should all have the All Access Pass so you can watch that pain from Note's point of view. Oh, man, let's take a look at our standings after the games here in Week 3. Some big movement. The Guangzhou Charge have been on the up and up. Look where they're at after tonight's win over the NYXL, all the way up into our top 9 positions.
Yeah, pretty slick stuff coming up from the Charge here. I really am quite high up on a lot of these Chinese franchise teams as it stands, as you all know.
Yeah, it's awesome that all 4 of them actually are in the top 12. That's a brilliant...
No one would have predicted that at the start of this year.
Nope.
Also, big shout out to the Titans with their win today and New York's loss. The Titans are officially your #1 seed for that playoff bracket. New York will be on the other side at #2.
That's pretty big as well. And the San Francisco Shock are going to be loving that, like you were saying before, because both of the teams that are ahead of them in the standings aren't really looking too hot right now.
Look at 4 through 7 through there. Just put some question marks right next to every single one of those squads. But they're in it, so I guess we'll see how it goes down.
Anything can happen in the playoffs. If you watched the last season, Philly won a miracle run. We'll see who else can do the same. Coming up after the break, though, we got the best of the best. It's the over-the-top moments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Well, we've made it. We've made it to the end of week 3, so it's time we do one more check-in with our high-tech, fully automated 21st century power rankings board in front of Bren's face.
The heck are you doing?
All right, so the rules are simple here. Hex, you're new on the desk. You each get to make one power move, and today we're going to start with Bren. Bren, you closed out our show after hyping up Chengdu. You said they were number 3. Then you put them in the Chengdu zone after their loss, so they're not ranked.
Yes.
Also, we saw NYXL fall out of our top 12 last night, and that seems to be playing true. So where are you going today?
I'm going to do the most obvious move I think that I can make right now, and this is my honest opinion. The Charge are moving up, but where are they moving? It's the question. Well, we can move the Dragons down 1. We can move Rain down 1.
Now, they did lose to London.
Don't help him.
I
guess it is a community board, yeah.
I'm just precursing this move. Where are you going with
I'm
this?
putting them in 4th, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
They look
Fourth
hot
best
right now.
team in the
They
game
look
right
hot
now.
right
They
now.
look really
That's all
good.
I'm saying.
Whoa.
And I'm not... Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah.
They look pretty good. Yeah, just in general, I mean, I'm super high up on the damage-dealing duo of Happy and Nero, as is Hex.
Yep.
I think that they're capable of beating a lot of the top teams. Their coordination looks clean in a lot of these teams. I think they'd beat the Titans, and I think on another day, they'd probably beat the Spitfire as
I think
well.
Chara gets overlooked a lot too. Like his ability to stay alive in Lucio is ridiculous. That whole stall that you did on Li Zhang, the halftime, that's all Chara.
You got to love after the game as well, Shu talking a little smack to Jonak.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, you're up next. Let's keep this rolling. What's your power move tonight?
Well, I'm thinking about trying to fix the Chengdu zone because you've got 13 teams in a top 12 power ranking, which makes no sense. So I'm going to erase Bren's moronic decision from yesterday and actually put Chengdu somewhere. I'm just going to scribble through that. I'm not even going to bother erasing it fully. The question, though, is where do I actually want to put them?
And who do you want to take out?
I mean, I'm going to drop the Spark, obviously, because they're at number 12. I don't think that they deserve to be on the board. But, oh, hello. Maybe I should have moved the Valiant up as well. The Seoul Dynasty, I think the Chengdu Hunters are probably ahead of them right now.
Really?
Do I think they're ahead of the Dragons? I think they might be.
I would say
yes.
so.
I'm going to put Chengdu around here. I think that accounts for both their highs and their lows. Kind of a mid-playoffs place.
I like Hex's face of disgust, confusion, frustration. Describe it, Hex.
Self-loathing, really, because it hurts what I have to do right now.
I thought you were about to say you were going to have a heart attack.
No, I mean, I might say.
It's live on the broadcast.
It is my advanced age. As much as I love Chengdu, and I know I do, Shanghai is just coordinated Chengdu. That's all they really
Just a
are.
single move?
They're a better...
Really?
No, that's how I'm going to start right there.
Okay.
I'm going to move the charge
Whoa!
ahead of the Justice.
Whoa! Isn't this a one power move?
My power move is making multiple moves. That's the trick of here. I think I would leave it there because I want to move people ahead of the Gladiators, but I also want to go on Twitter again ever. So,
So you guys think Gladiators is the second best team in the game right now?
No, I don't. I just don't want to feel the wrath of their social media.
Fear is definitely persuasive sometimes. All right, so there we have our finalists. Shock at number 1 after week 3. We got the Gladiators, Charge, Justice, and Titans in your top 5. The next group would be the Spitfire, Rain, Dragons, and Hunters before we get to the bottom of the barrel. How does it all play out? Well, we got a few more weeks to go, and if you want to find out the official power rankings, the real ones with a lot of thought put in by the great Reinforce, go on over to overwatchleague.com. He puts them up every Wednesday. We're going to break. When we come back, it's the most over-the-top moments. No break. We're going right now. Play it right now. Let's get to it right now. We're going.
Oh, my, what? Oh, what? He's taking over the show.
Number 5. Kick us off.
Oh, you remember this? Because I do. It was this morning.
Shame.
I got well and thoroughly shamed.
I wish someone had a bell to just ring at you.
I think I should have done the whole show from back there. It was nice.
I remember waiting for both of you to get in that room while I was punctually and on
The
time.
Americans on time. So weird, Hex.
Like Grandpa.
Incredible. Dante's rooftop meteor strike earlier today, showing a little doom.
This
was rad.
so sick.
It was really cool.
I love it. This is something a tech I've been waiting to see in the
Like a
Overwatch.
Peregrine Falcon.
If you hit it from that high, shouldn't you kill them and then the next time they spawn, they should just die again?
At number 3, it's Architect's 5K Barrage. That is genius, Hex. Definitely should implement that into the game. Architect, the MVP for the Shock today. Is he the best player on the team right now?
I don't think so.
Not going to say it.
An incredibly versatile player that opens up a bunch of styles.
At number 2, it's Guido Zenyatta 4K. Yesterday, he was in our top 5 moments with his boops. Now he can frag out, too.
Ooh!
Look at the dance.
Oh.
Through the Matrix, the dance, baby.
How weird is it that Guido is being fielded over Sleepy, a guy that we know is actually really...
They made a move to get Sleepy, too, so it must be something. And look, now Guido gets time to play, trying to put down good film.
At number 1, Sinatra's back. He's got to play, and he's causing problems.
Oh, Maya Wamu Shindaru, you are already dead. Get him out of here. Get him out of the server.
That's essentially Dallas Fuel's whole philosophy this season.
Did you know he was a Genji Hex?
I have not seen a lot of his Genji, to be dead honest. I had not seen it, but I know that he's a skilled player and he wants to play, so he'll pick up whatever they have to have and pick up.
Here's a look at your Twitch Cheer Bits leaderboard. Of course, it's still Atlanta Spark holding down the top 2 spots. New York, well, their fans may want a few of those coins back after their performance this week. Houston Outlaws hold on to the top 4 spots with the Dallas Fuel as Texas. It's the best state on the planet. Right? Here is your individual board. And not a whole lot of shakeups as we're coming to a close here in the 2019 season. Pepin DePalm, shout out to you for holding that number 1 spot.
Leading the ball.
Number 1, 60K.
Before we go, guys, anything you want to say to the fans, your friends, your family?
I do, actually. I've got something very important to say. This is the last full week of Overwatch we will ever see this year. Because we're going to be moving to
this year.
this year, right? Because because next week we're going to be moving to 3 matches a day on the
Thursday and Friday. Yep.
And then it's the homestand, which is only 2 days.
Yep.
And then it's playoffs. So there we go.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thought I'd share that with you.
Anyone else got something better than Brent?
Honestly, don't know how to top that. It was phenomenal.
On that note, we should give a shout out to everyone with the All Access Pass. Remember, if you don't have it right now, you should get it because coming up next, Super is going to tell you not only how he got his name, but also what does he think about the critiques from the casters and the analyst desk.
They're all
going to let
perfect.
you all know in a
Very
special
good.
Q&A only on Twitch.tv. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.